Welcome to Your Unapologetic Life, the podcast. I'm your host, Morgan Barkis, women's empowerment coach, speaker, and author. And this show is for the woman who's done crying herself to sleep. You're picking yourself up after the breakup or the divorce, and you're ready to figure out what this next chapter is going to look like. Not the one someone else wants for you, the one that's fully yours. Each episode is here to remind you you're not too late, you're not too much, and you're not alone. This is your comeback era, and I've got you. I want my life to feel delicious. I want to wake up and feel delighted, not depleted. I want to eat food that excites me, have conversations that light me up, wear clothes that make me feel magnetic, and be around people who make me laugh from my tummy. Don't you? You've been thinking about what it means to live a delicious life, one that feels sensual, intentional, and unapologetically alive. I don't know exactly when I decided that I wanted life to only be delicious and delightful. And I can think of a few examples when I started to realize that that is what I wanted to invite more of into my life. One example is when I was post breakup and starting to date again, and I would interact with certain gentlemen, and some were delightful to me. The interactions were delightful. And I can't say that any of them had an impact in that it was turned into a relationship or someone I dated frequently. It was more, and I also went through phases where I realized, okay, this was delightful and not quite what I'm looking for in terms of like a long-term relationship or someone I would want to actually get serious about dating. And I still was delighted by the interaction. And then one of the other examples is eating out. I love to eat out. Uber Eats, I'm a big fan. I have to say that I don't cook. I really don't. I don't like grocery shopping. I don't like having to look at a recipe and go, well, now I have to buy all these spices or ingredients because I don't have these on the regular at my apartment. And so I don't want to spend the money buying a bunch of ingredients or spices I don't usually have around. Plus, to be honest, I don't like the chopping and the prepping and the dishes, and I just don't. And so for me, I eat very, very simply at the house, and then I eat major meals usually out or I order them in. Yeah, I know, not the best use of money. It's not cost effective. I don't care. I'm here to be delighted and do delicious things. So for me, that is just part of my budget is eating. I love to eat. And so I usually have 1 to 2 delicious meals in a day that come from a restaurant. So I love a good breakfast, and I oftentimes will go somewhere that I know has a wonderful breakfast sandwich on a buttery croissant. Or sometimes I'm in the mood for an omelet with some hash browns. So I have my spots where I like to go. And then I love to order Indian food. I have one spot in particular. If I'm at home working hard, and I don't have time or I don't want to take the time to go out to get something, I will order Indian food and it is so delicious and I can make it go for 2 days. Usually I can eat half of it one day and then enjoy it again the second day for lunch or whatever. And the I can think of there's a restaurant in particular that I like to go in Chicago. It's in the West Loop. It is a Mediterranean spot, Greek in particular, and I have never in my life had a dish so delicious, a halibut dish in particular. When I eat this fish dish, I have to tell you, I'm dancing on my seat like that meme, Winnie the Pooh, when he's sitting with a pot of honey and he's dancing in his chair, the happy dance, because it's so delicious. That is me. That is the kind of meal I want in my life. And so I am always on the hunt for those delicious things. So I would say I am also dating again and having intimate experiences with new partners. And I always go for the delicious and I want it to be delicious and I try to make the experience delicious. And if it's not, it's like, well, had a great time. Probably never going to do that again. And to me, it's a story. It's a delight. So I always look for delicious and delightful. And even if it's something that wasn't delicious, it might have been delightful. Are you following? That's for me anyway. And let's be real. Everyday life sometimes can be not delightful or delicious. It's can get mundane. It can feel flat. I especially am not my best self during the week of PMS. For whatever reason, my hormones are not in a great place, and I wake up, no matter how much sleep I had, not exactly motivated and ready to take on the world. And I have to give extra effort to do something in my life that feels delightful or have a meal that's delicious. It's a lot more effort for me, and you can make it happen. Like it is a choice. And I don't choose to have PMS. I don't choose to be low energy, low vibe. I don't like it, to be honest. I'm not. I've never been one to be into drugs, if you will. And I always thought, man, I do love an upper though. So I love having a lot of energy and I love being very alert and awake and productive. And years ago, my brother, I was at some kind of party. I was still living at home. I think I was early 20s. And, I'd smoked weed a couple times and I wasn't into it. And then I went to this party. My brother happened to be there with his friends, and he gave me a half of an Adderall. And I will tell you what, I loved it. I was awake the entire night, which I've never done. Yeah, if I'm in, like, even when I was in college, and some people be like, oh my God, I pulled an all nighter writing a paper or studying or whatever. That was never me. I'm like, I love sleep. I woke up this morning, I had slept 9 hours and 37 minutes. And I thought, you know what I am? I am an excellent sleeper. I am so good at sleep. It's unreal. Like, I love to sleep. So for me to stay up all night, no, very, very unusual, very atypical. And I kind of loved it. And so as soon as I came down from the Adderall high, I was like, well, and I can never do that again because I would be an addict. So I will say, I love to be uh, alive, alert, extremely energetic. That is my favorite thing. How did I get on this topic? Wow, I got a little off track there. I hope you're still with me. I was saying that because I always will choose high vibe, high energy over low vibe, low energy. So, do I love the week before I get my period? You better believe I don't. I really don't. So, I have to go extra hard to try to keep my spirits up and do things that delight me and feel delicious. Deliciousness isn't about extravagance, it's about presence. It's about noticing what delights you and saying yes to more of that. And it could be when I'm talking about presence, I tell people why I enjoy yoga so much. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the gal that likes to go to a yoga class. I kind of max out at half an hour tops when I start to lose interest. So for me, doing yoga, there's a gal on YouTube. I pay for the YouTube Prime subscription because then I don't have to listen to commercials, which is awesome. And it's only like $20 a month. And to me, that's way more cost effective than going to a yoga studio where the membership is like at least $150 a month. Plus, I have to commute both ways. And usually the classes are 45 to 60 minutes, which again isn't my jam. I say all that to say, I really like doing yoga. Yes, I only do a 15-minute routine via the YouTube Premium subscription I have. I found someone I absolutely love following her. Her channel on YouTube is called Move with Nicole, if you'd like to look it up. I have a 15-minute yoga routine that I follow of hers. And anyway, so some of the people at the gym, I go to the same gym pretty much, I don't know, 5, 6 days a week. So, you start to see regulars and I go about the same time. So you start to see similar people. And I was just telling one of the personal trainers there last week, he works out a couple guys early morning and we were chatting about yoga and he said, man, I really should try to get into yoga more. And I said, it took 2 knee surgeries for me to slow down enough in my life to actually do yoga and appreciate it because it was kind of the only thing I really could do. I had to give up the burpees. I had to give up the occasional CrossFit class. Like I just had to really toned down my workouts. And I said, what I love about yoga and I've learned to appreciate is it is one of the only things in my life that I am very present for. I can let my mind wander, and I don't want to when I'm doing the yoga because as I'm doing it and I'm following the instructor, I am breathing the way she's telling me to breathe, whether it's the intake or the outtake. I am thinking about the muscles that are getting engaged each move, and everything is intentional and sometimes slow, and it forces me to slow down and be present, and that is part of deliciousness to me. It feels delicious and delightful to be present in my body because most of the time, if you haven't already can tell, I am going in 7 different directions very quickly. Let's talk about the concept of feminine pleasure and embodiment because during a breakup, you're in survival mode. You were probably on the floor crying yourself to sleep. There was one point after the breakup, um, a couple years ago, and I was thinking about something because you think like thoughts become feelings, and then those feelings kind of manifest themselves in your body. So I was thinking about the breakup and how terrible it went, and that I was made out to be the bad guy, and I wish it wouldn't have ended that way, and I just ended up on the floor. I have this ironically round rug, and I rolled myself into a round ball on my side and just cried. I gotta say, it was about 5 minutes. I was pretty good. As I've gotten older, I've learned how to regulate my emotions more effectively, and I needed to cry it out. So again, post breakup, like right after the breakup, you're in survival mode. You are not thriving, you are surviving. You are crying yourself to sleep. You're making sure, I mean, for me, I made my therapy appointments immediately after the breakup. It was like, I need to talk to somebody to process this, process the breakup, process what happened, process how I'm feeling. What am I thinking? I had to work backwards. He had me writing down my feelings and then going backwards. What thought did I have that caused that feeling, and how can I reframe that thought? So it was a lot of work for me post breakup. Um, Now you are the woman who is out of survival mode. You are standing in the mirror, you're in your Wonder Woman pose, and you're like, all right, I am single. I am wanting to feel powerful and embodied. What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do next? What do I want to do today? What do I want to do in the next month, the next year? So it's now you're in this different phase where, thank God, you're ready to thrive rather than just survive. And being in your body and embodied is part of that. Because again, you're not just trying to get through the day, you're thinking about how you want to make this next chapter of your life look. And I have a couple of my favorite quotes from my favorite people, one of which is Esther Perel. Her work is outstanding if you don't follow her. And her quote is, the erotic is the antidote to death, which means staying connected to pleasure keeps us alive. And I'm not just talking intimate pleasure, whether it's solo or with a partner. Yes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I believe an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away. I almost treat it like working out. There are times where I'm like, wow, I haven't done that in a while. I should probably do that because it's part of being human, and it's a part of the maintenance of your body. Do you remember what movie was it? Eat, Pray, Love, which Elizabeth Gilbert is the next person I wanted to mention. Elizabeth Gilbert wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love, and when she went to, I believe it was Bali, and she went to a healer, and she's like, your joints are little tie. I can't remember what she said. She basically told her body was like the Tin Man, and she's like, "You haven't had sex in a long time, have you?" And she's like, "You really should have sex," because it was like that is part of what keeps our body thriving and alive and um, running on all cylinders, if you will. Anyway, so Elizabeth Gilbert from Big Magic, her quote is, you can measure your worth by your dedication to your curiosity, which means delight and curiosity are cousins. If you are curious about yourself and this next chapter and what you want, then you will find delight, right? So part of that for me An absolute delight is house music. And I hadn't been to a rave since I was like probably in my early 20s. And I have really tapped back into that because my curiosity is, would I still enjoy going to music festivals um, in my 40s? And it looks different. And I followed my curiosity and I went to my first house music event this last summer, and at first, I just kind of was standing there off to the side and bopping my head. And then a DJ got on and she was amazing. And she played a song in particular that I was like, I cannot not dance to this song. And I beelined it to the stage, if you will. It was sand. So I mean, stage, you get it. But anyway, I beelined it to her and I'm standing right in front of her, and the music's so loud, it's not great for the ears. I didn't care. Now I've invested in these earplugs that you can still listen to the music, but it takes out the more damaging bass, if you will, of the music. If you're standing right in the front by me, 2 inches from the speakers, like I like to do. Anyway, so and I was absolutely delighted. And now I'm like, wait a second. I think I'm taking this thing internationally. So I have made a commitment to myself to travel internationally at least one time every year. I'm going to aim for 2 times, and I'm going to follow the music festivals. So I've already been Googling music festivals in Italy, in Ibiza, Morocco. Of course, there's Ultra in Miami. I need to get there. I'll probably do that this coming year. So it's just like I followed my curiosities, which were, do I still want to listen to house music? Do I want to listen to it live? Is there a way I can do that that feels fun? I don't last as long as I would have dancing for 3 to 4 hours straight. By that time, I'm like, and we're done because my knees are like, hello, Morgan, you need to sit down and go get a delicious meal. Go get some protein and a glass of wine. So, anyway, um, and as you know, I'm always running off of Samantha Jones energy when it comes to being delighted and living a delicious life. If you are not a Sex and the City fan, where have you been? Oh my God. I'm sure you are, though. I don't know which character you identify with the most. For me, Samantha Jones, every day, all day. Love her. And she is unapologetically living in pleasure. She does not ask permission about enjoying her life. She is fashionable. She has a successful career. She does what she wants. She is unfiltered when she gives feedback, and she delights in the deliciousness of enjoying the dating process. She doesn't take it that serious. She just goes out there and she prioritizes her pleasure. She is my spirit animal. There you go. Now, maybe you've been living on autopilot. You've been eating the same foods, wearing the same clothes. You kind of scroll in the same patterns. You have the same mental loops going round and round. Your daily routine, maybe it's too routine. And you don't need a relationship or a big trip to feel alive. You need to start paying attention to what delights you. What could you change up in your life that would delight you? Okay. I love to shop. I don't do a ton of it because I know that my financial resources could be used elsewhere. Because a lot of times there are things I want to buy and I think, do I really need this? I have something that's pretty similar. Or it's like, okay, if I get this, how often am I actually going to wear this? Do I just want this just to have it, or am I actually going to wear it? So a lot of my wardrobe, um, I had a gentleman friend over this last week, and he's like, "Someone as fashionable as you, this is all you have for a wardrobe?" And I said, "Yes, because they're pieces that I actually wear or mix and match with other pieces to turn them into other outfits." And I said, "I've moved so much that it's kind of senseless to have so many clothes." And I try to do the one in, one out. And so if I'm going to buy a couple new clothing items, I like to go through my closet and think, what have I not worn in the last year or two? Maybe this has got to go. And so I do some Marie Kondo. Is that the gal's name? Um, I do some not minimizing. I just try to balance my wardrobe and not have things in my life that are mundane or same old, same old. And even when I got out of my relationship, I redecorated my bedroom because I was like, I need this space to be completely different than it has been in the last 3 years. I need to walk in this room and feel different. I need to see different things. And so, whatever you can switch up in your life, try to do that. And think about what is one thing that feels delicious to you today. Is it your coffee? Was it the walk outside this morning? The song that you danced to in your kitchen? I really want you to think, I don't even know what delights me anymore, but I want to find out. And look at your day in a way that's more analytical is not the word I'm looking for, and definitely not critical. I want you to be curious. Yeah, curious. That is the word to keep in mind. Um, Now, in terms of my coaching program, if you're like, Morgan, I don't even know what delights me anymore. And what do you mean by delicious? Okay, this is the kind of work we would do together in my coaching. We rebuild your life around what lights you up. We are going to figure those things out together. We're going to go on an archaeological dig and we're going to figure it out. And if you're like, I don't even know, that's what I'm here for. If you've been in a relationship so long and you kind of worked your friendship circle, your daily routine, your like what you've been eating, where you've been going, where you've been socializing around your partner, I get it. Your whole life is upside down and inside out now, and you're on your own. And the delightful thing is, you get to go do whatever you want. So, again, we would build your life, this next chapter, around what lights you up after we figure out what lights you up. And then when we find out what's delicious and nourishing and alive, we're going to do more of that. And you are with me on this trip because I will be there to encourage you, motivate you, inspire you when you're not feeling it, right? Delicious life doesn't happen by accident. You are going to claim it, you are going to build it because you deserve it. Well, I appreciate you being here, and listen to the outro so you can make sure that you have the information you need to get on my email list as well as book a discovery call with me. Thanks for listening to Your Unapologetic Life. If this podcast felt like a truth bomb, share it with another woman you love. Make sure you're following the show and please rate and review. It really helps. Want weekly motivation in your inbox? Tap the link in the show notes to join my email list and instantly unlock your post-breakup pump-up video. And if you're thinking, I want Morgan to be my coach, click the discovery call link in the show notes and let's talk about how perfect my coaching program could be for you right now.